Hi, Rickie.
Hello.
How are
Hi,
you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing awesome.
Good.
All right. I didn't send you an email this morning because I was like, well, we're going to talk today anyway. So
That was my thoughts anyway. So I'm
good.
glad we're on the same page.
Awesome. Awesome. Let me hurry and quickly pull up your intake form. It's been one call after another. So I have someone else's pulled up. And now I'm going to get the wheel of death. Here we go. Hey, you got a raise.
I did. That was exciting.
That's way exciting. Was it unexpected?
Yeah, like she had told me when I started that there was that possibility. She's like, we'll start here and then once we get into it. But yeah, I was not expecting it. So it was good.
Oh, that is so awesome. Did you celebrate? Were you like, did you do anything fun or?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I encourage you to celebrate that somehow, whether it's get up and dance and be like, oh yeah, or whatever. Get up and celebrate, or go out to dinner or something, or get an ice cream or something fun, just to be like, yes, like this came to me.
Okay.
Awesome. Um, okay, so where do you want to start today?
Um, we can just start. So I've been working on my lip, like we've been getting that in. And so I was just wondering, like, how do you, because obviously this is something that we hope to improve on and, continue doing after the program and all of that when you don't have a
Right.
necessarily have an implementation coach on that. So how do you fix your own wording? Like,
Okay.
how did, I don't, does that make sense? Like,
Yep.
I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, so this is what I thought, but then this is how you like tighten it down. How do you figure out how to
Okay.
tighten it into place?
So we want them to be clear,
Mhm.
direct, powerful directives of ownership. Do you need me to do that again?
Clear, direct, powerful directive of ownership.
Oh, clear, concise. Sorry. I said direct, clear, concise, powerful directives of ownership. I said it wrong. Glad you repeated that back to me. So, an easy way to think of it is like if I read this, can I visualize it? Because our subconscious minds are pretty dang specific. So if it's vague at all, that's why we need the clear in there. If it's vague at all, your subconscious will do funny things. Like if you say more money, like I'm going to make more money, your subconscious literally can drop a pile of pennies in front of you that you find as you're walking into the store, and that's it's done its job.
Mhm.
And so then it's done. So that's
Okay.
why we've got to get that specificity in there and just be very clear on what you want. So any vague words like big, a lot, what are other words I see a lot? Well, those are two good words. I'm like, we're not going to spend time me trying to remember
You're good.
those. But just any vagueness, anytime like if you were to give your libs to your mom, she needs to be able to read them and know exactly what they mean. Like she can see what you're going to come up with, like what you're working on. Um, or any stranger can know exactly what this is going to look like when it's done.
Okay. So kind of like an exactness on, like if you're talking about money, it would be an exactness on like, this is what I want to make, not I just want to make lots of it.
Right. Yep. Yep. And they get tricky sometimes. I still, there's still times when I'm like, okay, I've really got to think about this and get creative because, big sounds like, oh, well, big to me is this, but, you could look at this pen and to an ant, the pen is big, but that's not big to you and I, and that's why, like I said, our subconscious minds need that really clear picture of what we're going for.
And then there was a couple of them that you added like in every day. Is that the ownership part of it, or what is that?
So do you remember like which ones they were?
Because there was one where it was like, I love and accept my body every day.
Okay. Yes. So the reason I added every day into that one is because I want you to love and accept your body at every size, shape, circle, square, whatever. Like you're going to love it every day as it is and as you are.
Okay.
So whereas if you just say, I love my body, well, guess what? Like you show up one day, you're like, man, I've been eating right. I've exercised. I've done this all for a week. I'm feeling great. Right there, you just met, I love my body. But if you say that every day, you've missed the mark a little. So it stretches you to make sure you're consistently feeling the love for your love and acceptance of your body every day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Like sometimes I wonder if I say things clearly.
I understand that. And then, so like love and accept are technically two different ideas, but are like those can be combined, but you don't want to do. So how do you know if they're like two separate ideas that you want to just focus on one versus when you can put them together?
Okay, so for instance, like I'm trying to think of a good one. Okay, so in fact, let me just pull this up really fast.
Because like some of them I get that they're two separate thoughts. Like, okay, we should just focus on one because then we can work on that. But some of them like,
right. Okay, so like this lib. Oh, where did it go? Sorry, I was going to pull a lib up for you really fast and it's not happening so fast. Okay. The more money I make, the closer I feel to God and the more people I help. What does that sound like to you? I can repeat it if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The more money I make, the closer to God I am, and the more people I can help.
See, first hearing it, I feel like it's like two ideas, but
it is.
Then, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Because you've got two limiting beliefs there. So what you're looking for are the limiting beliefs behind the lib. So, the limiting belief is if I make money, I can't be close to God on the one side. And the other one is I can't help other people unless I have money. So there's two different contradicting beliefs and not contradicting, but two different beliefs going on right there. So that's what you want to look at. Do I see more than one limiting belief in my statement? Awesome.
That's
Is that helpful? Do you feel a little more solid on them?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you have more questions on them?
No, I feel like that makes sense. It's like what I'm looking for, like when I write them in the future.
Right. So, and one little other tip, like a directive versus an affirmation, like you want to make sure, like, so an affirmation is like, I am healthy, where a directive is, I eat healthy food. Does that make sense? That's why it says clear, concise, powerful directives. Because that's where a lot of people get hung up too, is they make it more of an affirmation than they do a directive.
Okay. That makes sense. I think that was the problem with one of mine.
Okay. Do you feel like you have yours all clear, like tight and ready to go, like ready to record?
Yeah, I do. I was okay with them and okay with like the suggestion that you had, but I was like, I don't know how to get from point A to point B.
Okay.
So
No, I'm glad you asked, because it's a skill to learn, and hopefully the goal is that you'll be changing your libs quite often through the next 6 months. So as you're running them the 3 times a day, really connecting, they can change as quickly as 2 weeks. Like you can see a quick shift. And so that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping that those libs are changing monthly or so that you'll get lots of practice in the 6 months of writing them. And by the 6th month, you'll be like, this is easy.
yeah.
So have you recorded yours yet?
I have.
Good, good. And are you listening to them the 3 times a day?
No, I just recorded them.
Okay, you just got them recorded. Okay. Okay.
And I haven't listened to that call yet, but I will get that done.
Okay, for the identity.
Yeah, hopefully tonight. So this kind of goes into what I've been struggling with and what I'm running up against.
Okay.
So I have been working on, my libs and like money mindset and that sort of thing. And I feel like I'm doing better where I'm at, but then something happened at work where we pushed a button and accidentally charged someone the full amount instead of like half of the amount that we're supposed to be charging them. And it created this whole big incident around money in their life. And so I'm not freaking out about like money in my own life, but I feel like super responsible for the situation. And I'm struggling to kind of separate like myself from what happened and this other person's reactions. And that need to be in control and like fix everything and just make it so that it's okay. And
right. Well, first off, with their reaction is all about them and has nothing to do with you. And that's the case in how whenever people react, it is all about them and nothing about the person that they're having their kind of flip out to. Okay. So always remember that. Second off, give yourself some grace. Like people make mistakes happen, computer glitches happen, like those things are going to happen, but everything always works out. So I don't know what steps needed to be taken in place in order to help it work out for them, but it's going to work out, right? Like whether it's you guys issue a refund or whatever the case needs to be, it's going to be okay. It's not like that money is gone forever. And I'm sure like if it put them into the negative and all that kind of stuff, they probably have that protection. What's it called? Like when you overdraft, overdraft protection. If they're smart, they have overdraft protection. So they're fine. Like their bank's going to cover them, is they're going to be okay, because until that money is refunded and put back into their account, their bank's got their back. And is it going to stress them out? Yeah, probably, but that's on them. It's not on you. Like it is not on you at all. Is that helpful?
Yes. And it's something that I kind of like, it's one of those things that I know intellectually,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really hard for me to put into practice.
Right.
Do you have any recommendations on like how to? Because Allison says, we want to work through things quicker, but I don't know how to.
So what meaning did you give this experience?
Well, stressful, and that.
Okay. What did you make it mean about you?
That I have to fix it. That it was my fault, so I have to fix it.
Okay. And what does it mean when it's your fault? What does that mean?
I don't know, like that I should be the one that like is suffering, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Instead of someone else.
Okay. Now, so take that, and what would you rather this experience mean?
No.
Okay. Would you rather it mean that maybe you guys found a problem in the system and it can be fixed? Like, oh, we found a glitch, now we can fix it. Or, oh, we made a mistake, now we can fix it. Or, like this isn't going to happen again because I learned from this experience. Something along those lines to give it a better meaning so that you're not in that I have to fix it, stressed out for them state, because that's not going to help either, right? It just puts you into a suffering state. And a suffering state means you're believing a lie. So you're either believing a lie about yourself or a lie about an experience. So, depending on what you're telling yourself in that experience that's causing the suffering is where you need to, make the adjustment. What would I rather make this mean? So when you find yourself anytime you find yourself in a suffering state, you always go like, okay, I've given this experience a meaning. What meaning have I given it? Okay, now what would I rather make it mean? And then you get to choose, okay, I choose that. I choose to make it mean I made a mistake and it'll never happen again because I know how to not do that again. So, and it may not have even been your mistake. The computer made a mistake. Like, I don't know the exact details of the situation, but do you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, I can talk with this assistant who put it in wrong and make sure that things are, double checked. I'll make sure to double check the invoice and check that with the customer. The customer probably paid with a card and inserted their card and hit yes, for heaven's sakes. Like, so on that end, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can learn, hey, you're being charged a total of $72. Is that okay today? Like, there's lots of different ways and lots of different stop gaps that can be put into place. So that's never happened. That never happens again. And so it's just a learning experience. And that's all that this was. And there's no need to like feel like you have to fix it or it's your fault or anything like that. Just, oh, it is what it is. And we're learning from this. So is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we need to get better at deciding positive meanings for things.
Mm-hmm. And it takes practice because you get to first start out with that awareness. That's why Allison always says massive awareness, zero judgment. So it starts with that awareness. Oh, I'm aware I'm in a suffering state. Suffering state equals believing a lie. Okay, what lie am I believing right now? And then you go into identifying. But it really does take practice because let's be honest, sometimes it's just like, yes, I'm in a suffering state. I get it. I'm there. And I don't care about the rest right now. Like, that's easy to do, right? Like, it's where we're comfortable. It's what we know. So it takes practice into this. And even if you're just like, okay, that start with where you're at. Like, I'm just going to be aware that I'm in a suffering state, which means I'm believing a lie. And then if you want to take it the next step, then you go, okay, what lie am I believing? And what would I rather believe? And again, it's practice. I've been doing this for years. And even this morning, it was, I'm in a suffering state. My kids were grumpy and I automatically chose into that grumpy. Like, I made it about me that's why they were grumpy. So I was believing a lie about myself, and I had to be like, oh, no, what am I choosing into? What do I want to make it mean? Oh, they didn't go to bed on time last night. That's why they're grumpy. This has nothing to do with their mom. It's because they didn't go to bed. So just an example of kind of what that looks like, and an example of the fact that we're all human, and it takes practice and lots of practice. So start giving yourself props for catching yourself and being in that awareness and being like, I'm doing this, man. Look at me. And you already have, because I clicked off of your response. Sorry, let me get back to your response. You've already come, you started at 24 hours in suffering.
Yeah.
And you're down to 8 to 12. That's half, Rickie. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, I mean, that's a bigger celebration than your dang raise. So that is super awesome. So give your, step into that, own that, be like, I'm doing the work is working, and look at this, 8 to 12 hours a day. That's huge progress.
I was just glad when my dream stopped being stressful. The rest of it is like icing on the cake.
Right? And now your dream's going to be these lovely, awesome things for you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, can I go to sleep yet? Because I really like to dream about that.
Yep.
Awesome.
I have one more quick question.
Yes, please.
So we're almost out of time. But it has to do with the deadline that we set.
Okay.
I think looking back, I may have been a little bit overzealous on my deadline, but I don't want to not have faith in my deadline.
Okay.
But what happens when you reach your deadline and you haven't reached your goal?
Okay.
Like, what's the process of?
So simply, we change the date. We don't change the goal, we change the date. And you get to look at it as feedback. Okay. It's all it is feedback that you didn't make that date. Okay. What could I have done differently? Were there moments of action I could have taken, but I didn't take? Were there nudges I received that I didn't follow? Like really reflecting on what was going on. And it simply may be that just the time lag hasn't caught up yet. And so it's going to take a little extra time, because we purposely set your time to make your butt cheeks clench. We purposely do that because we want that sense of urgency, because if urgency isn't there, people tend to wait until it does feel urgent. And we want people super laser focused on their goals. And that's why we're like, you may have said, I don't remember if we had to up your date or not, but you may have originally said June. And I was like, oh no, say March, do you know what I'm saying? We usually will change the date on the goals for people when they're setting their goals, because people are setting it so far out that it's not creating that urgency that gives them their laser focus. So yeah, remind me the date on your card.
Mine was February 4th.
Okay.
And so that was like 3 months from when we started. And I was like, I just want to do it. And then, I didn't implement those things in the beginning. And so, I can see where that
the time lag.
Yeah.
So. And it'll come. And like I said, just let that date come when it comes. And if you didn't hit it, just let's change the date. Let's relook at it and change the date. What do you want me to hold you accountable to this week?
So I'm going to listen to that call.
Okay.
And then I'm working on the active directed faith. And so one of a couple of the things that I'm going to do is I have some funds that didn't really have an allocation. They just were kind of that just my safety net that I was holding on to really, really tight, because I was like, I want this to come through, but I don't know that it really will. And so I want to pay off my car and my school loan. Okay. So that I can open up, be okay with letting things pass through so that they can come back. Right. But also to get down to a zero balance on those loans and be able to focus on building, financial relaxation funds and things like that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So if I follow up by Friday, you want those to be paid off? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then I'm going to attach to listening to that call, doing that identity worksheet. Does that sound good? Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Anything else? I'll listen to the next module. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait. I hope you share. Not everybody has shared their identity worksheet. And if you don't want to, I get it. But I would love to read it. It's been so fun reading people's. So I would love to read it if you're willing to share. Okay. Okay.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. Congrats. Oh, I was going to tell you, you should post in the Facebook that you got a raise. I know that's stretchy.
Okay.
But we all want to celebrate with you.
Okay.
So I encourage you to do that.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Julie.
your evening. See ya.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye.